Hello and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. I'm Tracy, also known as MercyTiara, and I create scrapbooking process videos, project shares, tips, tricks, unboxings, and more here on my channel. Today I am working with the Brighter Days kit, and I'm going to be creating a really fun layout, particularly if you love using embellishments and lots of layers on your pages. Now, I have the Brighter Days kit and the add-on, and I also have the extra patterned paper add-on. So I have already used this. This is my fourth project that I'm making with this kit. So as you can see, there are some scraps that I was going through a few minutes ago, and you'll see more of them. So what I'm using here are 2 Paige Evans papers from the kit. I think every single thing from this page comes from the Brighter Days kit. I'll let you know if I'm wrong about that as I go along. And I am really struggling here. I am trying to make these pages a specific size. What I should have done is just measured, but I was instead trying to use my reasoning skills and I ended up cutting it. I was supposed to cut it that much too short, but I ended up cutting it that much too big. So I'm just going to measure how big it needs to be. I'm measuring in inches, which always kind of confuses me because I'm not used to using 16ths and 1/8 and that sort of thing. So I'm going to get it here in just a second. I'm just really struggling. I'm not sure why. But anyhow, I think I didn't have my coffee or something that day. So I am just trying to count the number of 1/8 of an inch are there. And there I go. I'm going to trim this down, and it's going to be wrong because I'm trimming it from the wrong side. I should have been trimming it from the other side. And now you'll see, look at that. It's wrong still. So my second try was also a dud. So my lesson here is just measure. That's all that I need to do, is just measure. Stop taking shortcuts and just measure. It's not that hard. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to just measure my yellow piece of paper so that it is exactly the same size as the blue, which is 11 by 11. And then I just took a little bit off of the edge of each of those 4 sides. Yep. There you go. That works. So I do like to show my full process just so that you guys can see that everybody struggles with something different. And yeah, measuring is not my thing. This is why I don't do any kind of carpentry work or household DIYs, because I am a just kind of eyeball it kind of gal. So I have that one darker blue Paige Evans paper. It's from the Blooming Wild collection. I just had to check on the name there for a second. And I am matting another Paige Evans paper right over top of that. It is also from the Blooming Wild collection. And now this beauty is from Simple Stories Flea Market. And wow, I love this. It is so me. I love these vintage floral retro patterns. I just adore them. So I'm doing some matting here, as you can see, some triple matting. And going with a very wide mat for that. It's a 1/2 inch mat for that outside edge. And then the inner blue mat, the tiny little one, is 1/8 of an inch. And then we have our star paper, which is the background on that. So I have, as you saw, I rescued the insides of those matte papers so that I didn't waste them, because I definitely wanted to use them on this layout. I do have the extra paper pack, so I don't have to be too cautious about being careful with using my paper, but I have lots of plans for this kit, and I want to make sure that I have enough pattern paper to do all of the things, right? So I just matted my photo. It's printed at 3x4. I print that on my Epson PM400, and I matted it with that really beautiful navy blue or like almost an indigo maybe paper. And I'm going to mat all 3 of these panels. I'm making 3 panels, one with that beautiful flea market paper from the outside edge, and then one with this beautiful heart paper. Whoops. I'm not having a good day when it comes to cutting my papers today. I'm cutting them the wrong sizes and the wrong angles. So that one was oriented wrong so that the hearts were going to be sideways. So I just recut it there. And I made this center panel so that it's bigger than the photo. And then the 3rd panel over on the other side of the photo will be the same, basically around the same size as the photo, which is about 3 by 4. So now I have these 3 panels that will anchor everything else on my page. And then I have more washi tape than what you will get in a kit. In a kit, you will get 2 washi tapes. One will be thin and one will be regular thickness, like a thicker size. And again with the measuring, right? So I'm putting this on, and I thought I was putting it below the 6-inch level. And then I looked at it and I'm like, that looks centered to me. I'm trying to not center it. And so I must have been looking at the wrong lines on my grid. And so I'm just going to try this again. I'm counting just to make sure that I'm using the right one. So that where the Martha Stewart logo is the center, and I definitely want this to be below that. So let's just place it like that. And I'm sorry that I didn't zoom out there, but as you can see, I'm just stretching a larger piece of washi tape all the way across. And then I'm using my grid mats to make sure that it's straight. And then I'm using a little tiny ruler. You can use anything here that's a straight edge, just to tear the washi tape so that it has a nice straight edge on it. And now we have what we're looking for. This is like a comedy of errors maybe of this layout, because everything I measure, I shouldn't have measured. I should have just either eyeballed it, or anything that I eyeballed, I should have measured. So sometimes they go this way, but I did enjoy this process. I did not find that frustrating or anything. I just kind of rolled with it. So now I'm looking at embellishments, because I definitely want a fair amount of embellishments here, but I'm also wanting to have a fairly large title. And I wasn't sure what I wanted this page to be about, actually. At first I was thinking it was about I knew that it was going to be about being true to yourself. I just wasn't sure which angle I was going to take in terms of my journaling and my titling. And so I'm just working with the subtitles, or these title foam stickers from Simple Stories that came in the embellishment add-on. I really love that word authentic, and I'm thinking about maybe using that. And so what I came up with is discover your authentic self. And then I thought my journaling might support this idea in terms of, like, I could take it a couple of different ways in terms of, one thing that's been on my mind lately is, taking a risk in midlife about like starting a new business and those sorts of things with the Kit Club. But there were also a few other things on my mind that I thought might be good journaling to go along with a title and a selfie. So I just thought I would start with the title of Discover Your Authentic Self, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do from there. I am specifically choosing the non-curly Q letter stickers from this Eclair Alpha set that came in the main kit. And that's because I don't want too many things going on here. The two, like Discover and Authentic, are already pretty stylized, so I don't want a stylized letter for Your and Self. And then as I was spelling out self, I decided to change it to Selfie because it's a selfie, so it's a bit of a play on words. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, let's take some of these quirkier embellishment items and, like the end table and the vase and the key. These are things that are not necessarily quirky items in the world, but you don't see a whole lot of scrapbooking pages with end tables on them. And so I just decided to kind of go with this kind of mishmashy, flea market-y kind of look for this page. And I've decided to really embellish the heck out of this. and to really go to town with using up some of the stickers and embellishment sets and embellishment pieces that I think I might not otherwise use. I have a sense of some of the other layouts that I want to do. And so I know that I'm not going to have a use for an end table and a vase or vase, or however you say that, in any upcoming layouts as far as I know. So I'm just going to use them here. And I'm always on the lookout for a layout where I can use some of these quirkier items that come in some of the embellishment sets. There's no harm in just not using them. You don't have to use every single thing that comes in an embellishment set. Embellishment sets come with dozens and dozens of pieces. Most of them have 40 or 50 or 30 pieces. And I don't think that the manufacturers are necessarily expecting us to use every single thing in a set, but more like putting an assortment of themed pieces in there so that you can just pick and choose what you want to use. Having said that, it's also really satisfying to completely use up a set of something, and I am going to completely use up a set of something in this layout, and I gotta say, it feels really good. I don't even remember the last time I used up a whole set of something, so I'm pretty pleased about that. I love this yep. I'm putting everything I love on this page, so love that end table, love that yep, love that vase. I just want to put it all on the page. So this part here was a little blank. I layered a journaling piece there, but I'm not going to actually journal on it. And then I really love the vase just kind of askew on that ticket. I'm going to put a little bit of a phrase on that ticket. And the whole time that I'm scrapbooking this, I have this phrase in my mind that's a take on a song. It's like, I like weird stuff and I cannot lie. And so I'm just putting all the weird stuff on this layout because I just love it. And that's going to become what I journal about. So this is one of those meta layouts where the process of creating this layout became the story of the layout itself, and it became like a jumping off point for some journaling that I might not have otherwise done if I wasn't, trying to challenge myself to use a bunch of fun things on this page that I might not otherwise put on a page. So I really like how it turned out. Here I am learning the lesson that wax paper will stick to these foam stickers. So yeah, just know that. So I'm peeling as much of it off as I can, and then I will just use my own adhesive on it. It's still a little bit sticky, but it's not sticky enough. I'm going to put Selfie and Your on before I adhere, Discover, and Authentic, just so that I can, line them up properly. I did switch my photo from one side to the other side there a few minutes ago. The reason I did that is that there's more room on the side of me where the plant is, and I knew that the word authentic was going to have to spread into my photo a little bit. I'm just trying out the thicknesses of this pen. I'm using my Tombow Mono Twin pen, which is an oil-based permanent marker. And you have to use a permanent marker when you're outlining on these stickers because they are a slick surface. And I am going to outline, basically I'm outlining the word discover in the thinner end. So this is a dual tip pen, and one end is 0.4 millimeters and the other is 0.8. So right now I'm using the 0.4 millimeter tip to outline the word discover. And I'm doing that because if I don't outline these, what I found was that the word discover and authentic, which are really the most important phrases in this title, they were kind of like disappearing backwards into the page and being overwhelmed with all of the other stuff around the page. And so by outlining it, it gives it a lot more presence and makes it stand up, particularly where the word your and selfie are in such a bold black foam letter sticker. So this just holds up a little bit better. And I really love how that looks. I'm going to switch to the thicker point for outlining this. And wow, I love it right away. Right away. My tips for outlining, because some people find it a little bit intimidating, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So you can't hesitate. You got to just do it. And I would suggest that you try to find a balance between taking your time, but not going so slowly that your lines get really shaky. So I find that if you just move yourself along at a fair clip when you're outlining, your lines will be straighter overall. I know that that's counterintuitive and it takes a little bit of courage to just jump in and start outlining. But the worst thing that can happen is you'll just have a little line go astray, and that's okay. It just adds to that charming handmade look, right? So that's what we're here for doing our own handmade pages. So, if it looks a little imperfect, that's all right. It's not supposed to be perfect. So as you can see, this really adds a lot. And the one other tip that I'll give you as you're outlining is when you're outlining something like this, where I'm using a fairly thick pen to outline, and sometimes these lines are super close together, just be cautious that you're outlining either outside or inside of those letters as needed. So sometimes two lines are coming super close together, and I'll just outline in a way that I'm maximizing the space between those lines. So sometimes that'll mean outlining just outside the letter without allowing too much of that background to show or any of the background to show. And sometimes that means outlining just inside of the letter so that two letters don't necessarily touch each other where they're not supposed to. And again, you'll get the hang of it as you practice. So just jump in and do it. Don't hesitate to try something if you haven't done it before, because that's how we learn. I am tucking a bunch of different die cuts in behind some of these layers. And I'm adding things like, here's that yep that I love. I just adore that green tone-on-tone color. Love it. And so I layered that with the end table. I'm taking this good stuff. The more I use the stickers on that chipboard sticker set, the more I think I just want to use them all. So my goal for this layout is to use them all up. Now, I wanted to use some washi tape as an embellishment, and if you got this kit, you will have 2 random sets of washi, and this one is probably my favorite of all of the washi, so I hope you got this one. If you didn't, the other 2 thick ones are also really beautiful. One has a pink floral, and the other one has these blue and green landscape scenes on them. It's really, really cool. You can't go wrong with this washi. But this one really supported my story. Again, I don't know what I did wrong there, but I trimmed it down a little bit too close. I wanted it to have a little bit more of a white border. So the problem with washi is that it is see-through, and I didn't want to, it's transparent, it's not completely see-through, but I wanted it to have a little bit more presence on the page, and I didn't want to be able to see that pattern paper underneath because I thought it would be too busy. So that's why I am matting my washi tape onto white cardstock. This is just a scrap I had from the page I did before. And no cardstock comes in this kit, but the next kit will have a cardstock add-on option, so you'll be able to get cardstock next time. But we all have white cardstock in our stash, most likely. So I'm putting a strip below and a strip above, and again, that washi tape just has little quirky vintage items like an alarm clock, a typewriter, a couple of vintage cameras, vintage television, radios, and that sort of thing. And I think it just supports my story here and what I'm going to end up journaling. And I do apologize because I did it off screen and I don't even have a photo of it. I'll see if I can get a photo and add it at the end, but I just added a tiny, tiny bit of journaling that says Zelda Pull-Up Dolls Rement logo. So I just kind of made a list of some of the quirky things that I like that most people either haven't heard of or don't like at my age. And so I love that big giant tag. I'm going to outline it with my new favorite pen. This is my Faber-Castell Artist Pitt pen. I have lots of these, but this is a newer color for me. It is Indanthrine Blue 247, and it's the super fine tip. I've been using it for outlining and I've been using it for journaling. And I did do my journaling on it as well, with it as well. Because it's a tag, I love to put a string in it. I try to put strings in all of my tags just to make them look a little bit more realistic. And I just have the So Cute layered there as well. And that sofa is another piece from the chipboard set. And it was one of those things where if I don't use that sofa chipboard here, I don't think I'm ever going to use it because I can't think of another reason to use that chipboard. So let's put it on here. Every once in a while, it's nice to do a layout that's just a bunch of random things put together. It gives you a chance to use up your stash, if nothing else. There's my journaling that says, I like weird stuff and I cannot lie. I just put it on that ticket that says admit one. I'm adding the globe right there. And I'm going to add these plates here and down here. I need something else up in that other top corner. Let's put these flowers here. We've got a candlestick, so we might as well use it. I'm going to put it right here, and a little double hearts and a little sprig of something. Put it right there. Done. I love it when that happens. There are so many embellishments in this kit that I'm pretty sure that this is the only one that I'm going to be able to finish in this month. But it really does feel good. Now, because these are chipboard stickers, I'm just taking any ones that seem like they might pop off, and I'm adding Tombow Mono Multi-Adhesive. That's one of my favorite liquid adhesives to use, so I'm just going to use it on all of these pieces. Anything that seems like it's stuck pretty well, I'm just going to leave. I think I might have put that sofa back in a different way. I think I put it over the washi tape instead of tucking it under, but that's all right. Now, this little confetti mix is exclusive to the kit, and I designed this specifically to coordinate with different aspects of the kit. And I'm just picking out 3 of the navy blue confetti pieces. Well, 9 altogether, 3 in 3 different places. And I'm just going to use that to be another visual triangle. I have a few visual triangles happening here. There's a lot going on this page, and adding something bold that kind of pops out at you like these blue dots, it really helps your eye travel around the page in a way that feels more organized than just blah, all this stuff everywhere. So placement of these 3 these 3 confetti pieces in these specific places is a design strategy for me more than anything else on the page. So this is the biggest part of the strategy of this page. The rest of it has just been like, put everything wherever I want it to go. But now I'm looking at it and thinking, I wanted this to have a real kind of flea market-y, cluttered look to it. And so those 3 sets of confetti embellishments really help to just tighten up the page from a design perspective. Now, keeping with that cluttered flea market-y look, any little embellishing and adding of details that I can do will add to that look. So I added 3 enamel dots to the letter N. They were that orange color that doesn't really show up anywhere else on the kit and on this page. And so I just decided to accentuate it. I thought about adding threesomes of enamel dots in a few different places, and I decided not to. I just left it with just the N. It just adds a little layer of detail to the title. And now I think that this might be my final touch, which is adding these frames from the Pink Fresh Studio stickers that came in the embellishment kit. No, I think those came in the main kit. And I'm just going to trim them down and layer them with each other so that they add a little bit of vertical height to the page. I'm going to tuck this one in a little bit more than it is already. And because things are already glued down, I have to trim it down in order to tuck it further. And then I will tuck this one under that one. And there we go. And then I'm going to do a similar thing up here. I'm just laying them down, trimming them, and then moving things around so that they tuck underneath. And now I thought I would show you just an image of where I placed that little list of quirky things that I like. Zelda pull-up dolls remeant Lego. I just tucked it right there underneath of that strip of washi tape that's mounted to a piece of white cardstock. And now I'm just adding one last visual triangle here. I mentioned the visual triangle that's created by the little navy blue confetti pieces, but now I have another visual triangle that is those 3 circles. 2 of them are plate stickers, and one of them is that Pink Fresh Studio chipboard flare. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to my Patreon supporters before I share the photos. These folks help make this channel happen, so thanks to them so much. Patreons, or tiaras as they're known, get early ad-free access to some of my process videos and real-time unedited versions of most of my videos that they can watch, as well as a monthly live stream and behind-the-scenes videos of my room and my process. And thanks to you also for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment to let me know if you ever complete any sticker sets or embellishment sets. Also, make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I hope to see you on the next project. Take care and have a really great scrappy week.